Hi, I'd like to talk about Sautille bowing. There's a common way of teaching this stroke where you really just do it from the hand or the wrist. And that way is to lift these two fingers off, set the bow slightly above the balance point. If you're not sure how to find that, you can start way up here, tremolo, and work your bow towards the balance point until it wants to leave the string. And that's a fine way to start it. I think that it works very well for many people and they're happy with that stroke. What I found though with it is if I start to slow it down, it immediately becomes an on the string stroke. So I want to be able to do Sautille and still have different degrees of tempo where I can slow it down and speed it up. Also, when you're actually incorporating the two hands, it helps if you can start a little bit slower. So let me give you another idea for Sautille, and that is to hold it out here on the adjusting screw, okay? Like so. Now this is not going to be a wrist action at all. You're going to pronate towards the first finger, flatten your elbow, your forearm. Your forearm is going to be involved, and you're going to teeter-totter the bow until it leaves the string. See that motion? It's kind of hard. It wants to slide down the fingerboard, so you sort of have to hang on with your first finger. If you look very close, does it look like it stays on the string? Alright, so now in my bow hand video I told you guys that I put my thumb between these two fingers. And that's the way some students of Suzuki do it. Another more common way, the standard bow hand, would be to make a circle with the middle finger. Okay. Now, when I do this bow stroke, Sautille, I actually move it even farther down the stick so that my thumb is no longer across from the middle finger. It's there. Okay. It gets me out here at the end. I think that's the fulcrum point here. So I want to be as close to this as possible when I'm doing this stroke. So I move out like so. Set the bow right about the balance point, maybe a little above it. In the balance point it gets kind of scratchy. Okay. Then pronate towards the first finger. The more I pronate, the more scratch or spiccato quality I get. Flatten the elbow, and I'm going to bow from the forearm a little bit. You'll see a little bit of hand motion, but if I move, do you see that the forearm is engaged? Okay. Now, the neat part or thing about this stroke is if I slow it down and move to the balance point, I can still get that sound. As I speed it up, I have to move above the balance point a little bit. Okay? Otherwise, it's just too much. Just a little bit above it. But if you can slow it down, it really helps. Anyway, once you can get the bow to do that bounce, then you have to learn how to add the left hand. Okay? I start by doing 8 strokes and then adding a finger. And then 4, and then 2, and then 1. Okay, once you can do that, then you have to do string crossings. And then 4, then 2, and then 1. After you can do that, then you have to start working through shifts, which is very difficult. Okay, so it helps if you have different speeds of Sautille. But I would recommend a 1-octave shift, starting with 8 bow strokes per note, and then 4 bow strokes per note. Once you can do a 1-octave shift, then try 2-octave scale. 2-octave scale. Okay. So hopefully this gives you a new approach to Sautille, or at least a new way to think about it. Maybe it's already working for you, but if you're watching this video, maybe it's not. So good luck with Sautille.